Hey guys, it's Canady, your boss lady of the insurance industry, coming to you live via my YouTube page, Canady Benjamin. Like 5 years, why are they calling me now? Why are they if I call it harassing? Why are they harassing me now? Why are they asking me, you know, because during open enrollment that's when you have the chance to change your plan, just like if you were still on some kind of group insurance, when you have group medical coverage and they say it's open enrollment time at your job or whatever. That's the time when you can change your plan. So even if you're not turning 65 and you're already 65 and you already have a plan, people may be contacting you now to get you to change your plan. So first of all, this video I wanted to do so that you will understand what's Medicare, what you have, what you need, and what you don't need. Okay. I'm gonna leave this screen, but I'm not moving, so I should be on the screen. You should be able to see me. Okay. So the parts of Medicare are this. We have parts A, B, and D. A, B, and D. A is your hospital coverage. A is that coverage in case you go in the hospital or skilled nursing care, hospice, or home health. Those are the things that are covered in A. And when we, as insurance professionals, when I try to remember these terms, I remember A, for acute. A for, meaning this is something that's right now. So that's your hospital coverage. Usually a person they break a hip or they break something and they have to have rehab. So what do? They send you to the nursing home. And if all else fails, and they say, we just want to make sure this person is comfortable until they leave the earth, then they may go to hospice. But not all hospice is for end of life care. Some hospice is for those that may live another 50 or 60 years, but they have some kind of condition that causes them to be in acute pain and constant pain. So also you have parts B, like boy, that is your medical insurance. Part B is that coverage that for your doctor's visits, outpatient care, some home health, your durable medical equipment like your wheelchairs or oxygen or those kind of things. Also medical, under your medical is your wellness screening, shots, vaccines. I know everybody was on high alert with these vaccines, with COVID. And let me see, my daughter, my love. Okay, so part D is in dog is drug covered, D for drugs. And this helps covers your prescriptions, including most of the vaccines and shots. Um, but what's when you have just Medicare A and B, you have to ask for, add on, and maybe even pay for a drug plan. And that can be costly depending on what kind of medications you take, if they're in the formulary. Also, if you are on a lot of medications. If you're not on that many medications, you can get, they have these discount cards now where, all it is a risk pool, a bunch of people getting together in these things. That's why it's free for you to get it, because they just want a lot of people to use it so that it'll allow them to continue to get discounts for that conglomerate of people. Okay. So with Medicare, you have A and B, and then you have Part D for drugs, and then you have what's called a Med Sup or Medicare Supplement Insurance, Medigap. These plans are known as Part C, like Canady. When I say to you, you need to know what you have and you need to know what you need. It is because some people, depending on your health situation, you can get by with A and B and getting a drug supplement. If you're fit, you're healthy, you don't take a lot of pills, you don't have any medical concerns, you don't have any diabetes, heart disease, those lingering illnesses, you exercise regularly, you do all these things to promote good health, long life, and longevity, then you may be able to get just A and B because it's going to cover those things. You're not going to go to the doctor that often, maybe once a year, and that's covered. Maybe a few that's covered. Um, Anyone is prone to get an accident and have to go to the hospital, so that's covered. So now, like I said, and then if you're financially able to use just Medicare. Also, some people may have uh, low income, and you may be eligible to get Medicare, and instead of getting a supplement, you will get Medicaid. And in the state of Alabama, they do offer Medicare and Medicaid. And Medicaid would be like used as your Medigap. Medicare, Medicaid pays the part that Medicare does not pay. Listen to the language though. It pays for the parts of those things that are covered under Medicare that Medicare does not fully pay for. So if it's a procedure, a medication, a something that Medicare does not pay for, Medicaid is not going to pay for it either. So you need to check these things. Those are the kind of conversations you should have with your insurance professional about your health. Sometimes you got to get a little you're going to have to get a little personal with this person. So maybe somebody you really want to, establish a relationship. I'm available. And that way, when it comes to your house and your car, it's easy to discuss those things with a perfect stranger because, what are they going to do? But it's sort of difficult if some of us are a little modest and speaking to someone you don't know about your health situation when it comes to this insurance. I just need you to come on through. That can be a little embarrassing or just uncomfortable. So I suggest you do need to speak with someone. Don't just make a quick change. Don't just say, okay, well, they said this is what we do. Our people perish for lack of knowledge. They said I need this. They said, no, you don't. You need to make sure you talk to an insurance professional who can directly tell you based on your circumstances if you need a supplement plan. Now, I do offer supplement plans through Aetna. I researched Aetna and I chose Aetna because Aetna is a plus rated, a best rated insurer. He's also they look. I'm trying to make sure I can see you. Okay, there we go. There we go, guys. And so when it comes to Medicare Advantage plans, known as Part C, like Canady, it's a Medicare approved plan from a private company like Aetna that offers alternative to original Medicare for your health and your drug coverage. They're bundled plans. So these plans will include A, B, and usually D. Listen, when it comes to vision, hearing, and dental, that's why you need to talk to an insurance professional because those things are not covered under any plan. No medical plan covers vision, dental, or hearing. The only way your medical plan will cover vision, hearing, or dental is Vision, it would have to be a medical situation. Someone injured their eye. A medical disease cause eye damage, such as sometimes some people want to talk about glaucoma. A lot of times they really want the, optometrist. There's a difference between an ophthalmologist and optometrist. One is a doctor of the eye, and one is a doctor of vision. So hearing, it would have to be some kind of inner ear canal kind of thing going on, and not just you can't hear and you need a hearing aid. When it comes to dental or your mouth, it had to be bone structure, um, something where ENT needs to go into your mouth. But as far as the teeth, it would have to be disease in the gums. It would have to be a medical reason that the teeth are falling out or something to that nature for it to be covered under a medical plan. So when you have the choice between original Medicare and a Medicare Advantage, what goes into your decision? How often do you see the doctor? Do you take a lot of medications? Do you need other treatments? Are there other specialists you need to see? Do you go more than 3 times a year? Do you have follow-ups? Do you have therapy? Do you have other things that would cost you if you had to pay? Say you had to pay $5 every visit per year. If you pay over $25 a year, paying $5 a visit, then you would most likely benefit from a Medicare Advantage plan. Because, like I said, $25, if you only go to the doctor once a year, Medicare gonna pay for that. That's called that's your yearly visit that they have to see about you. They have to see you once a year. A wellness visit is covered for usually 100%, usually under any medical policy, any medical plan and policy, two different things. We'll get to that another time. But under any plan in medical. So look at, have this conversation with your insurance professional and not that Jim Walker or Betty Bob that calls you over the phone and they're like, okay, well, it's time for you to do medical, and you don't know, and they're talking fast. They don't know you, you don't know them. Have the time, to get the most accurate quote in a Medicare Advantage plan or Medicare supplement plan, that person will need to know every medical problem you've had in the last 5 years to be able to adequately quickly quote you. They would really need to know every medication you take, because they would need to look in their formulary for that plan to make sure it's covered, and also what tier of medication you take. If you take something like Norvasc, metformin. Some of those things are covered. You can go to Publix or Walmart. Some of those things are you can get for free, or they're $4 medications, because these are some widely taken medications. But if you're taking something like Plavix, Plavix only been approved like 10, 15 years ago. These newer medications, they're going to be very expensive. So they might be on a higher tier, meaning it may be covered, but you still have a copay for it. So these are things you need to look at when you're deciding if you're going to get a Medicare Advantage plan known as Part C, or if you're going to stay with original Medicare. If you stay with original Medicare, those are for people that usually got a little bit of retirement money, because they know they can pay those copays. um, those that are on original Medicare and you don't have a little money, and you're a little bit modest in the pocket, and you may be able to apply for Medicaid to go along with it as your Medigap. And that's for people that maybe go a few times, but like I said, it's based on income. Now, then you got those working class people in the middle that don't want to give up that money out of that 401k, because Regular people that don't have 401k, Medicare is your 401k, and they trying to dismiss it. So when you're looking at a Medicare Advantage plan, some of these plans can be no cost, low cost, but they usually range between 100, maybe a little under 100 to maybe $200 or $300 a month, depending on what you need. Now, also, when it comes to Medicare Advantage plans, people that are on disability Medicare, and so that means you're 62 and on disability, you may also be able to get a Medicare Advantage plan. 62 and on disability Medicare Advantage. But then again, like I said, it depends on how many times a year you go to the doctor, how many types of doctors you need to see, how many medications you're on, what tier of medications you're on. And that could give you an idea of do you see a doctor who's in a network? Do you see a doctor that's not in a network? And then something else. When I told you about Medicare A and B and D, remember I talked to you about vision, hearing, and dental. Medicare Advantage plans usually have vision, hearing, and dental services included in those plans. Those Advantage plans sort of work more like group coverage. And I'll say that in the coming years, ever since ACA started, there's been a bunch of debate back and forth about these plans. Some they started with so many plans. I think it was 12, 11 or 12. They moved them back and forth. They've done away with some. They've added some, and they've taken away a lot of coverage, basically. So what I want to look at right quick before I go is, since we know what the parts are, I wanted to skim quickly over some of these plans. Now, the plans that I'm referring to are the plans that I'm able to offer, and these are from Aetna. Okay, so with Aetna, okay, let's see. There we go. We got Plan A, B, G, HG, and Plan N. Now, when it comes to each plan, again, it needs to be perfectly tailored to you, perfectly tailored to do how many times you go to the doctor, how many times you see a specialist. It needs to so say, Paul, this is available plans. The available plans this year: A, B, D, G, K, L, M, N. Now, if you had Medicare before 2020, if you had Medicare before 2020, and you have a plan F like Frank, unless Jesus call you and tell you to change that plan, don't ever change from Frank, from Faithful. That's what we're going to name it. We're going to rename it from Frank to Faithful. Plan F covers all those things, like if you work for one of them big top brand name companies and you got that good old group insurance. F is a grandfathered plan. It's grandfathered in, and it can't go away if you're already in it. But if you leave it, you can never go back, just like me. But no, seriously, Plan F, it was the best plan they came out with in ACA. It covered everything, but of course it's costly. And the more people used it, the more it expensive, and the risk and the money they got to pay back. So right now, looking at these plans, G Plan G covers the most in the plans this year. Let's see what F and G, and they have a high deductible though. You want to look at what your deductible is, because when you have a medical deductible, what that means is when you go to the doctor, people will say, "Oh, but they slapped that card up there and say, I got insurance." And you take that card and then you get a bill from the doctor that says you owe for that doctor's visit. Why? Because that means you haven't met your deductible. If you have a high deductible, one of them $6,000, $3,000 deductibles, $2,700 is usually that plan F and G. $2,700. That means that until you have spent $2,700 out of your pocket, the plan is not going to pay 100% of your coverage, of your visits, of your treatments, of any of this. Okay? So when you're picking a plan, you really need to discuss how often you go to the doctor, because those first few visits until you reach a certain amount is coming out your pocket. So be careful of what plan you pick. Also, be sure to find a plan that covers your Part B excess charges. All excess charges in medical is those charges that's charged above what Medicare says is right for that procedure. So what that means is like to go and have a band-aid put on your elbow. The doctor may charge $125 for that. Medicare says we're only going to pay you $100 for putting that band-aid on that elbow. That's all you're getting from us. The doctor's office says we still want our $125 and we don't care how we get it. So they're going to take that $100 from Medicare. Them $25, they're going to you in a bill. So that's why it's good to have Medicare Part B excess charge coverage. And right now I'm looking and it seems like G is the only one that's going to cover that in the current plans. Yes, man. And know that the more that's covered in a plan, check this out. Check this out. You want to catch this. The more that's covered in that plan, in a is the more that you're going to have to pay for it when it comes to these Medicare supplement plans and Medicare Advantage plans. The more that it covers, the more you're going to pay. The less waiting period for something, the more you're going to pay. So look at that. Let's see. I'm trying to skim over because I don't want to hold you too long. And my daughter says that I need to only last 15 minutes. Because y'all know Rev Benjamin can talk. But no, plans K and L are decent, and they'll pay 100% of your covered services the rest of the calendar year once you meet the deductible. But what is the deductible? The deductible for K is $6,940. The deductible for L is $3,400 a year, 3,470, and it only covers 75% of stuff until So look at these and see, if you can get by and your income is lower to the point where you don't have these $20 and $25 and four co-pays nowadays like $40. Um, you may and it may be able to at least try to see if you're eligible for Medicaid and Medicare. If not, and you go to the doctor a lot, and you have different services need to be done, then you may want to look at getting a Medicare Advantage plan or Medicare supplement to fill in that gap. Let's see what else. And I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. But just know, Canady's Consulting and Insurance, I'm always available. You can email me, call me, text me, chat. I have chat on Meta. I have chat. I'm on Instagram. I am on Twitter. I am on most of your streaming, and I do have this channel here on YouTube, which I love dearly. Oh, Asia, I'm sorry. I went over. But that is what we're talking about tonight. Medicare. Medicare. Because I know they're calling because they're calling me. Why y'all calling me? Y'all know I sell insurance. But like I said, talk to someone before you make any changes to your Medicare medical insurance this year, because I know they're calling. Open enrollment is getting ready to start. So if you do want to talk to someone, give me a call, send me a chat, send me and let me know you want to talk, and we can set up a time. I have Zoom. We can Zoom where we can do, you can see, and that's good for me because I like to share my screen a lot. I like to not, I like to be transparent so that people see what they're getting and, able to make a real educated choice in your coverage and your care. So I want to thank you all for watching. I want you to like, tag, share, get the word out that Canady's Consulting and Insurance is available to answer your questions. I have the heart of a teacher. I just want people to know what they have and know what they need so they can be fully covered. Anyway, this sort of wraps it up. I want you to know that I'm so grateful, 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 grateful. And I am trying to be consistent, consistent, consistent. Anyway, y'all, peace, love, and chicken grease. Y'all, I'm out of here.